Damn, I missed you all. Can't wait to get back on the air. February 2nd, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. The return of the Dan Bongino Show. Lovers, haters, friends, supporters, detractors, you're all welcome. Make that chat room fire. I want to hear it all. Rumble.com/Bongino, February 2nd, 10 a.m. Live. See you there.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Nightly Scroll. I'm Hayley Caronia. Welcome to the show. Thank you to all my homies that are here in the chat. I already saw people in the chat. I like to just hop in there if I can before the show. And someone said, is Hayley coming in on two wheels today? Which is because Andy likes to tell people that I drive like an absolute maniac. Huh?
You didn't today.
I didn't today. I have been here for hours, actually, because I was on Megyn Kelly's show earlier today. I did it from the studio. So I've been here for hours. And, another comment that I've been getting, now that this show, Nightly Scroll, is going to be moving to noon, I've been getting DMs and questions and comments on social media. Are you going to be able to get up early for that? You guys think I'm like a bum and I sleep in all day and I just I get up at 4 p.m. and I come in here on two wheels and just pull the show out of my butt? No. I'll have you know that I work for hours on this show. And I think, what time did I get here today? I don't know. I was here early one day, and I get both of my 45-minute workouts in before 10 a.m. I'm up early. So I think I'm going to like the new early schedule. We'll see. There are going to be some growing pains, I think, but I am not a bum. I just wanted to let people know I get up early. I am a night owl. I am also an early bird. I am both. I run on no sleep. And I like to get up early, actually. So I just wanted to set the record straight there. But anyway, quick reminder to subscribe. If you are already watching on the Bongino Report channel, well, thank you. You are doing it right, because we are Rumble exclusive. So that's the only place that you can watch the show in full. So rumble.com/Hayley will bring you there. Make sure that you are subscribed to the Bongino Report channel. Make sure that you, if you can watch at 6 p.m. Eastern time, don't miss it. It's so fun. Scroll with everyone in the chat. And if you can't catch us at 6, you can watch it anytime. Of course, you might be watching on X or on Facebook right now. You're only going to get a little snippet. So come on over to Rumble, of course, so you can not miss out on all of the fun. And then if you don't want to watch and you just want to listen, I know a lot of people listen on their commutes in the cars. Whatever podcast platform you get your shows, you can find Nightly Scroll there, soon to be Scrolling with Hayley. You can find on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeart, and make sure that wherever you watch the show, you're giving us some love, because it all helps. So I just wanted to say thank you for that. And let's get into tonight's show, shall we? Mayor Jacob Frey really stepped in it this time. He claimed that the ICE agent that shot Renee Good in Minneapolis didn't suffer any real injuries, except that's not what officials are saying today. Also, more information about the incident is being spread by none other than NBA coaches, and it happens to be misinformation. Influencers, celebrities, athletes speaking on issues they know nothing about is not productive. We'll get into those videos. Also, Portland's police chief is a total crybaby. And no, he's not crying over, innocent lives. He's crying over gangbangers. Would you expect anything else out of Portland, Oregon? Also, Vogue is predicting a new trend in 2026, a fashion trend, and it's eye-popping. And it puts the ass in asinine. That's the tease that I'll give you there. Put your phones on Do Not Disturb. Nightly Scroll starts now. DHS Assistant Secretary Tricia McLaughlin confirmed to multiple outlets today, I saw Fox News, Daily Wire, a bunch of other ones, CBS, that ICE agent Jonathan Ross suffered internal bleeding in that incident with Renee Good that ended in her death and his hospitalization. He was released later that day, but Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem had said previously that he was being treated, the agent was being treated at a hospital, and he was released that same night. And I saw a few, internet doctors online quickly putting on their fake white coats in an attempt to debunk the statements coming out of DHS. Now, I am not a medical doctor, and I'm not dumb enough to pretend to you guys that I am. You already know that I'm not. But leftists online were so quick to say, there's no way that he suffered internal bleeding based on the video that we saw. And there's no way that he suffered internal bleeding because he was released that same day from the hospital. Well, it's unclear the extent of the injuries. We just know now that he suffered internal bleeding. We don't know the extent of that internal bleeding. We don't know really the condition of the agent. We already know, or we only know what the authorities tell us. And bruising is a form of internal bleeding, so that wouldn't necessarily be a lie, even if he did walk away with just a bruise. Also, some other minor forms of internal bleeding can resolve themselves with little medical intervention or not at all. You can go home and they might send you home, which they did in this case, but give them something to stop the bleed or elevate your leg, certain things. Again, we don't know because no one's told us yet. All we know is that he suffered internal bleeding and he was released that day. And, people have just lost the art of saying, I don't know. And if we don't know, we don't know. And we just have to wait for more information to come out. This was one of my biggest gripes with the government during COVID, because everyone wants to be an expert. And the experts were desperately trying to maintain power as being this authority on the topic, when in reality, it was everyone's first rodeo. And the experts didn't actually know anything. And instead of pretending that they knew everything and then backtracking and then coming off as liars, it would have helped if they just said, hey, we actually don't know. And I think, people in the government, they don't want to say that because it doesn't sound great. It's like, oh, well, great, they don't know anything. But it's better than lying, because now nobody trusts any government institutions at all. And that's what we're seeing now. Mayor Jacob Frey, he came out immediately after this incident, as other people did, and they just jumped to a side very quickly. And on the left, they jumped to defend Renee Good instead of law enforcement, which tracks. It's disappointing, but not shocking, right? So we could all predict where Mayor Jacob Frey would stand on the issue. Of course, he comes out in defense of Good, because this is the same man that kneeled down in front of George Floyd's casket and was crying. So, he's not going to take ICE's side in any of this. But he went further to downplay the officer's injuries without knowing all of the facts. And this is what he said. Watch.
Donald Trump said that Renee ran the ICE agent over. Don't take my word for it. Don't take their word for it. Watch the video from every single angle. I mean, the ICE agent walked away with a hip injury that he might as well have gotten from closing a refrigerator door with his hips. He was not injured. I've seen worse injuries from doing that. And so give me a break. No, he was not ran over. He walked out of there with a hop in his step.
I'm sure he feels pretty stupid weighing in on all of this now without the facts. I'm sure if he could go back in time, he might take back those statements, walk back those statements, that this was just, shutting the fridge with your hip. And again, this is a mayor. He's just a mayor. He's a politician. He's not a doctor, but I can assure you, he's not attributing these fridge comments to any doctor or medical team. He's pulling it out of his behind because he wants to downplay the incident. And he wants to downplay Renee Good's involvement in this. He wants to push a narrative. And I went on his X page today. It didn't seem like there was any statement coming from him with this new information that's come out saying, oops, sorry, I didn't know. Oops, sorry, I didn't realize that he did actually get hurt. I haven't seen anything like that from Frey. I don't know if we ever will. Also, more misinformation being spread about Renee Good, but this time it was in the sports world. Milwaukee Bucks coach Doc Rivers said, he was being asked about athletes making political statements and all the goings-on in Minnesota. And this is what he had to say about the incident. Watch.
What happened in Minnesota was a straight-up murder, in my opinion. And it's awful. This lady was probably trying to go home, and she didn't make it home, and that's really sad. So the whole ICE thing it's a travesty. It's clearly, to me, we're attacking brown people. And I just happen to be brown. And I don't think it should just be brown people who are upset at this. I think we all have to be. I don't care what side of this thing you are on politically. What's going on in our country right now is absolutely wrong as far as the.
Okay, so there were a few things there that are untrue. First of all, he said, in my opinion, it was straight up murder. So I guess that is true. That's his opinion, right? His opinion is that it was straight up murder. That's not what I saw in the video. That's not what a lot of people saw in the video. Yes, Renee Good was killed. However, the left and people who say that it was straight up murder are just ignoring everything that led up to it. So that's that. He also said that this lady was just trying to get home. That's another narrative on the left that they've been throwing out. Oh, she was just trying to get home. She was just, trying to back out of her driveway or into her driveway. I keep seeing that online. And I don't know exactly where she lives in relation to where the incident happened. But if she was just trying to get home safely, I would say that you don't yell at cops. I would say that. Also, if you want to get home safely, you don't instigate and record and taunt ICE agents. You don't pick a fight with ICE agents. And if she wanted to get home quickly and safely and get out of there, like she said, she wouldn't have been blocking traffic in the middle of the way. So if she wasn't parked in the middle of the road, that also doesn't really work with their narrative. If you're trying to get home safely, you'd be driving in one direction. You wouldn't be parked, yelling at cops and filming them. So that doesn't really make sense either. And you also, if you wanted to get home safely, you wouldn't listen to the orders of your lesbian lover. You would listen to the orders of the agents that were telling you to get out of your car. If she had stopped the car, put it in park, and gotten out of the car like the agents asked, she probably would have gotten home that day. And that's the inconvenient truth that the left doesn't want to admit. If she had complied, this would have looked a lot different. A lot different. Her son would have his mother at home tonight. But she chose differently. She chose to listen to the lesbian lover telling her, drive, baby, drive. While cops are in front of her vehicle and hanging on to the vehicle. Drive, baby, drive. That's the decision that she made, and that's the decision that ended up with her dead. And now, I'm not really sure exactly why these reporters are asking coaches about this at all. Aside from the fact that, they want to break news and make headlines and this is what's going on and athletes might be speaking out about it. I mean, this really has nothing to do with their sphere of influence or expertise. So also Warriors coach Steve Kerr has been known to weigh in on politics. He has defended athletes who kneel during the national anthem. He spoke at the Democratic National Convention, and he endorsed Kamala Harris for president. Well, here he is weighing in on the infamous Renee Good video and the government's response. This is what he had to say. Watch.
Well, I'm glad that the Timberwolves, recognized, her life and the tragic nature of her death, and it's shameful, really, that in our country we can have law enforcement officers who commit murder and seemingly get away with it. It's shameful that the government can come out and lie about what happened when there's video and witnesses who have all come out and disputed what the government is saying. So very demoralizing, devastating to lose, anyone's life, especially in that matter. So it's terribly sad for her family and for her and for that city. And I'm glad the Timberwolves came out and expressed that sadness.
Well, it is sad for the city. There's not a day that goes by that I don't think that Minnesota and Minneapolis are just falling and crumbling. And that is sad, whether it's the fraud going on right under Tim Walz's nose or whatever happens during the protests, the burning tires that his wife loves to smell, Gwen Walz, and cities burning to the ground in the name of justice, social justice. It is very sad to see everything that goes on there. And it's sad to see Steve Kerr say that this ICE agent is getting away with murder. Again, there is an investigation going on. There's going to be a trial. And people are going to have to see all of the angles of this video and be able to prove that he is innocent. And that's going to happen. That is going to have to play out in the court of law. And he has got a pretty damn good case. So again, we don't know what's going to happen, but to say that he's getting away with murder is crazy. I mean, this is a woman that was defying orders. She put her car in reverse and then accelerated as agents were hanging onto her car. So I wouldn't be so quick to defend that person. And you can say that this is a tragic incident. It is. I don't like when lives are lost. I don't care who it is. But, it is tragic. But to quickly defend her and to say that the ICE agent is guilty of murder is out of line and out of step. We all saw the video. Then he says that the government is lying about what happened. The government is saying exactly what I saw in that video. And then Steve Kerr goes on to say that this is all shameful. You know what I think it's shameful? I think it's shameful that these liberal Karens are bringing their kids to protests or dropping them off at school and then getting involved in this. It's shameful that they're endangering themselves while their kid is at school and then their kid won't have a mom to come home to. That to me is shameful. And again, why are our coaches and athletes, why are they weighing in on this? Do people want to hear from them? I keep talking about this. It's the cancel culture mob demanding a statement or an opinion or a stance on everything. Who cares? Guys who watch sports don't care. They don't care. They don't care where the team stands on social issues. They want to watch their team win. And if they want to hear about the Renee Good situation, they can turn on the news. They're more concerned about whether or not the team is good or if they're going to win. I've never met a guy who cared about the personal politics of a coach or an athlete. And I'm not saying that these people can't flex their First Amendment right and speak out about issues that they care about or at least know about, but at least know about what you're talking about. Doc Rivers blatantly lied. Steve Kerr blatantly lied. They're just talking for the sake of talking, speaking out for the sake of covering their ass in the court of the cancel culture mob's court of opinion. That's dumb. And all of the ways sports teams and front offices, they virtue signal when it comes to politics and social issues, that's dumb too. Did the NFL end racism in 2020 with their end racism end zones? No. Did they stop hate with their stop hate end zones? No. Or their hashtags? No. Did they make everyone love and accept the LGBTQ community by having their players wear rainbow shit? No. None of this has any real impact on anything. So while everyone else is virtue signaling, the Trump administration is actually taking action that might actually do something to better our communities. Here is the POTUS last night unveiling his plan to cut funding to sanctuary states and cities. Listen.
We're giving 90-day notices to places like California, Scott. Right away, we're going to send out that notice. Who would bill the federal government as people poured into the state to send those people back because no country can afford to do it? No country can afford to take in millions of people, pay for their education, their health care, their hospitals. You just can't do it. And we all have a heart. You can't do it. But many of those people are murderers. They're people released from jails, prisons, mental institutions, insane asylums. They're people that are drug dealers. They're addicts. Additionally, starting February 1st, we're not making any payments to sanctuary cities or states having sanctuary cities because they do everything possible to protect criminals at the expense of American citizens, and it breeds fraud and crime and all of the other problems that come. So we're not making any payment to anybody that supports sanctuary cities.
I love his little... He's swiping them away. We're not doing any of that. I love it. This is what I voted for. And again, 90 days notice is plenty. More than enough for sanctuary cities to drop the act. Drop it. New York City, for example, with President Trump talking about the drugs and the criminals and all these people that they're letting out on the streets. You know, they've offered up fancy schmancy hotel rooms for migrants. How has that turned out? Well, multiple assaults, even stabbings have been reported at these hotels for illegal aliens. The aliens are doing drugs. It's unsanitary. The workers feel unsafe. I have friends of mine who are liberal, and they live in New York City, and they have admitted to me that their apartment is next to a hotel that has been used for migrants, and they don't feel safe. Imagine that. Imagine if we vetted the people that came into the country. We didn't just let them in and give them free hotel rooms. Yeah, because now American citizens, whether they vote the right way or the wrong way, the right way or the left way, they don't feel safe. And Americans shouldn't feel unsafe in their cities. So if New York City and others in California, other blue states, they don't get their act together, they'll lose funding, which brings me to another sanctuary state and city, Portland, Oregon. Now, this Portland police officer has gone viral. This is what the left likes to do. They like to film. We know that they now call themselves legal observers. So they go to these protests or they go to some ICE agent activity, and they go and they pull their phone out and they film them and they try to get their faces and dox them online. And this video went viral of a Portland police officer saying sometimes criminals get shot. True. Watch this.
Yes. Renee Nicole Good, you would shoot her too!
If she drove a car at me, yes.
She's waiting to come in.
All you guys care about your own fucking paychecks. You guys don't care about protecting us.
I do like my paycheck.
People are being shot in the street and you're talking about your paycheck!
You mean criminals?
Do you hear that?
You're right.
No! You racist! 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 Look, PPP has a racist!
Sometimes criminals get shot.
Oh my God, you fucking piece of shit. Thank you. Thank you for that. So you want to say it clearer? You absolute piece of shit. Go ahead, say it clearer for me.
What? Sometimes criminals get shot. If they threaten
By
to talk,
who? By
they
who?
get shot. By law
Criminals
enforcement.
get shot by law enforcement?
Absolutely.
When they're doing nothing?
No, when they're breaking the law.
Like driving their car?
When they endanger
Driving their car?
Huh?
Driving their car?
At a cop? Yeah.
Renee Nicole Good!
Correct.
What she did! What she did!
Yes.
Renee Nicole Good, you would shoot her too!
If she drove a car at me, yes.
You watched the fucking video, asshole!
I'm good.
Are you though? You want to put anything else out there, any more of your beliefs for PPP?
Do you have any
You're
more questions?
speaking for PPP right now! Yeah, I do! Who'd you fucking vote for?
So, that's your question?
Yeah!
Okay.
You said after.
You know, these screaming people are doing Olympic level mental gymnastics to defy ICE at all costs. This police officer says criminals get shot by law enforcement sometimes, and that is the damn truth. He also likes his paycheck. I think everyone who gets a paycheck can agree. When that hits on a Friday, I like it. I like it. It feels good. I like getting paid, right? Okay, so he's doing a job that he's getting paid for, and he likes his paycheck. He also says the truth that if you are evading the law or you're putting law enforcement in danger, like going to drive up on them, then criminals get shot. That's the truth. And to that point, you know, the squawking lady just starts yelling, racist, 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 racist in his face. That's what he was saying. He was saying, yeah, criminals get shot, racist. What is racist about saying criminals sometimes get shot by police? They are the ones, the left are the ones bringing race into it. Then they do another mental backflip to take more of his words out of context. He says, you know, sometimes criminals get shot for breaking the law. And then the peanut gallery starts crying again for driving her car. Well, yeah, you can drive your car in a lawful manner. And you can also drive your car in an unlawful manner, and you will face the consequences you deserve based on the option you pick. If I drive my car into an ICE agent after being told to get out of the vehicle altogether, that's unlawful. So the left, these protesters, these legal observers are cherry picking the details that fit their narrative and then screaming racist at anything else. Now, this police officer has been reassigned. There's been a complaint, which is apparently under review, and he's been assigned to, quote, other duties, according to Portland Police Bureau Chief Robert Day. That same police chief got teary-eyed when talking about an ICE incident that occurred in the area earlier this week. An illegal alien suspected of being tied to the violent Tren de Aragua gang was shot by Border Patrol agents. Well, why is that? Similarly to Renee Good in Minnesota, this illegal alien was allegedly trying to ram the agents with a vehicle, again, a deadly weapon. So that illegal alien has been charged with aggravated assault of a federal officer with a deadly weapon. But here is Police Chief Robert Day crying while speaking directly to the Latino community. Watch.
I want to speak for just a moment specifically to my Latino community. It saddens me that we even have to qualify these remarks, because I understand, or at least have attempted to understand through your voices, your concern, your fear, your anger. This information in no way is meant to disparage or to condone or support or agree with any of the actions that occurred yesterday. But it is important that we stay committed to the rule of law, that we stay committed to the facts, that we stay a trustworthy and legitimate police department for all of Portlanders.
You know, there are people in the chat say, here, have a tampon, here, have a tampon. I'm offended because as a woman, that guy is a little bitch. I can call him a little bitch. He's a lot weaker than the women that I know. He's a lot weaker than I am. I don't know why people get away with like crying while making these bitch ass, woke ass statements. And he's making this statement to the Latino community as a whole. Why? What do they have to do with Tren de Aragua gang members? Not every Latino in Portland is illegal, I'm assuming. Not all of them are affiliated with Tren de Aragua. Why would they be upset or offended? So he's crying, saying he didn't want to come out with, you know, all of these facts about these migrants allegedly with gang ties because he didn't want to hurt the feelings of Latinos. Well, any Latino that's involved with Tren de Aragua should be worried, and they should be the targets of law enforcement investigations. Latinos who are law-abiding American citizens have nothing to worry about, and they shouldn't be offended by anything or saddened by anything. And you know what? If I had to live in Portland, I'd be crying too. I'd be crying if I had to witness, you know, all the depravity going on there with the Chaz and Chop zones and all the unrest at ICE facilities that are keeping members of the community awake at night. I'd be crying if I had to deal with the homeless mess and everything else. But just imagine if he shed tears for the people he should care about protecting, the people of Portland, and his own officers whose lives were in danger. If you're going to cry for them. Cry for the people who feel unsafe in that city. Cry because agents felt unsafe on the job and were fearing for their lives and in a split second decided to defend themselves against criminal aliens behind the wheel of a deadly weapon. Better yet, cry for the victims of Biden's open border. Cry for the American citizens who have lost their lives to illegal aliens. Cry for Laken Riley. Cry for Molly Tibbetts. Cry for Rachel Morin. Cry for Kayla Hamilton. Cry for them. Why don't you say those names? But to cry for Tren de Aragua gang members? Give me a break. There's also more lunacy going on in Oregon, this time at an ICE facility in Medford, where they were holding up, protesters were holding up a sign saying, "Crush ICE," while the others around them were laying on the ground for apparently over an hour. Watch this. There's a sign, "Crush ICE," and then there's probably, 35 people laying on the ground. They call these lie-ins. This one specifically, I think they were calling a die-in. ICE out for good on that sign. And then the rest of them are just laying down. Looks like they're taking a damn nap in the parking lot. And they're not doing a very good job of pretending to be dead. I mean, they're all wriggling around on the ground. It's just... I don't know what these people are doing. Again, these protests have been going on for days and days and days. These protesters are coming in shifts. What this is their job now, I guess. They have nothing else to do all day. In the middle of the day, it's broad daylight and they're laying down in the parking lot. I could think of a bajillion things I'd rather do. I don't really know what this is doing other than making normal people think that all these people protesting are stupid. And amid all of this, absolute clown Congressman Shri Thanagar, if that's Thanadar, I don't even know how to say his last name. He says he's going to introduce legislation to abolish ICE, because of course he is. Listen.
And we must reform ICE, but it looks at this stage, folks, ICE is beyond reform. ICE is totally out of control, and this week I intend to introduce a bill to abolish ICE. We need to make ICE go away. 2003, before 2003, without ICE, various federal agencies were able to take care of business, and we can do this without ICE. But we do not need the murderers. We do not need these paramilitary organizations, members on our street terrorizing.
Again, this is now a sitting member of Congress saying that ICE agents are murderers. Again, listen to them very carefully. When Democrats tell you who they are, believe them. They are the ones inciting all of this violence. And I dare him to try to abolish ICE. Seriously, go try. Go see what happens. Go introduce that and see what happens. See if the Republican-led Congress will buy it. I think they won't. But that's all it is. It's a resume booster for this guy. He's like the shock jock of Congress. He wants to introduce articles of impeachment for Trump. Now he wants to ban ICE. Give me a break. ICE was established in 2003, like he was saying, to, protect our homeland from foreign bad actors, to get them out of our country. I would say it's still necessary. And nobody batted an eye or cried any crocodile tears when Obama deported 3 million illegal aliens under his administration. No, because he could just get on camera and talk about DACA and the Dreamers, and that was enough slop for the mainstream media to eat and shit out for their viewers. And now, nobody cared about the kids in cages or any of that stuff because they bought the mainstream narrative hook, line, and sinker. Now watch this. A trans activist actively wondering if ICE agents are human beings with beating hearts and families and pets that they go home to. Watch.
Do the people working for ICE have family members? I think that's my number one unanswered question right now, because are you just going out into the world every day, ruining lives, actually killing people, and then just going home for dinner with your wife, going home and helping your kids with their homework, going home and taking the dog out for a walk? What does that actually look like? You just murder someone in cold blood and then you go home to your family? Sit down at the dinner table, talk about your days. Does your family know what you're doing? I can't wrap my head around this. I need to know what the profile, what the demographic of the people working for ICE are. They have to be lone rangers with no family, right? They can't be citizens. They can't be normal citizens with family. Is this a well-known thing and I'm just totally out of the loop here? I feel I would have to chain a family member up in the basement if I found out that they were working for ICE, or get them admitted to a psych ward.
Wow. Yes, ICE members and agents, they have family members. They're not ruining lives. They're trying to make our communities safer. They are arresting people who are not here legally. They are arresting people that, as the Trump administration said, they went after criminal illegal aliens first. And they don't actively go out attempting to kill people. They're only defending themselves against lunatic liberals. And yes, I'm sure they have dogs to walk and children to feed. But to chain a family member up, I wouldn't recommend chaining anybody up, including a family member, especially if they're law enforcement, because that's illegal. He also says that these ICE agents should be admitted to a psych ward for enforcing the law and doing their job. This is coming from a man who thinks he can become a woman. Baby, I agree. Open the asylums. You're up first. Your wig doesn't make you a woman. The drugs aren't working. You look like a man. You always will be. You sound like a man. You always will. So you're the one that needs psychiatric attention, and I hope you get it quick. Taking a quick break to tell you about our sponsors for tonight's show. First up is Shopify. It is a new year, fresh start. January's here, and it's the perfect time to stop dreaming and start doing. If you've been sitting on that business idea, 2026 is the year you rewrite your story and your own future. The most powerful move you can make, launch your business with Shopify. Shopify gives you everything you need to sell online and in person. Millions of entrepreneurs have already made the leap with Shopify. Building your dream store is easy. Choose from hundreds of beautiful templates and customize them to fit your brand. Setup is fast with built-in AI tools that help write product descriptions, headlines, and even help edit your photos. Marketing is built in. You can create email and social campaigns that reach customers wherever they scroll. And as you grow, Shopify grows with you. You can handle more orders, expand to new markets, all from one dashboard. In 2026, stop waiting and start selling with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/scroll. That's shopify.com/scroll. Again, that is shopify.com/scroll. Hear your first this new year with Shopify by your side. Also want to tell you tonight about Helix Sleep. Winter is here. I'm spending more time indoors, especially in my bedroom. Staying comfortable, comfy, and cozy has never been easier since I switched to my Helix mattress. Before Helix, nights were rough, night sweats, back pain. It's exhausting to wake up after a night like that. Then I took Helix Sleep Quiz, and it matched me with the perfect mattress. No guesswork, no stress. And since then, my sleep has been completely transformed. I wake up refreshed, and honestly, a good night's rest makes all the difference. Helix is award-winning, ships free in the U.S., and offers a 120-night sleep trial plus a lifetime warranty. And if you're not happy, their Happy with Helix guarantee makes returns easy. Are you ready to upgrade your sleep? Head to helixsleep.com/Hayley. That is Hayley with a Y, 2 Ys, Hayley, for 20% off site-wide. That is helixsleep.com/Hayley for 20% off site-wide. And make sure you enter Nightly Scroll at checkout so they know that I sent you. Again, that is helixsleep.com/Hayley. Well, I want to get into this interesting new candidate in Florida. His name is James Fishback, and he is launching a bid to be the governor, the next governor. And he's conservative. That he has some interesting policy points that are making him popular online. I see a lot of TikTok videos and support for him. He cares about young families, making sure they can get houses. He's big on taking on BlackRock and Vanguard and some of these other corporations that are buying up homes. And he says he won't take any money from AIPAC or any other foreign agents or agencies. And people seem to like that about him. And then he introduced this new policy. Watch this.
Florida governor in year one, I will push for the first of its kind OnlyFans sin tax. If you are a so-called OnlyFans creator in Florida, you are going to pay 50% to the state on whatever you so-called earn via that online degeneracy platform. And that money will be used to fund our education system, will be used to fund the crisis pregnancy centers, will be used to fund the first of its kind mental health czar for men in particular, because men have been told for far too long that they are guilty of masculinity, that they are guilty of all of society's ills. I'm not going to stand for that slanderous lie. What I'm going to do is I am going to end this lie that toxic masculinity is responsible for all the sins and ills of society. If you're an OnlyFans model and you reside in Florida, get ready to pay 50% of your income to the state. It is called a sin tax because it is a sin, number one. But the purpose of a sin tax in economics is to disincentivize and deter a behavior. And yes, as Florida governor, I don't want young women who could otherwise be mothers, raising families, rearing children. I don't want them to be selling their bodies to sick men online.
Okay, so I can go either way here. I'm a flip-flopper on this one. I could see both sides. Obviously, the porn industry is problematic, and I too agree that these women should seek Jesus and another profession, stat. I'm not here to defend that kind of sex work. I think that's disgusting, and I agree that it is a sin. Now, I also don't like taxes. And many people move to Florida to not have their income taxed, and that's why you see a lot of businesses fleeing blue states and coming here. I understand that people don't want the porn industry to flourish in Florida, but it's also unclear because he says that OnlyFans is being targeted, OnlyFans creators. And my thing is, if you're going to take on the porn industry, you can't just do it to OnlyFans. You have to take it on as a whole. You need to ban all of it. Also, bans don't work, right? Like if he tried to ban OnlyFans creators, they're going to make this content on other websites. They're going to get around it, right? This is why in the conservative space, we say, well, gun control doesn't work. You know, you try to put these laws in place or ban this, and you can't get around these things. People who want to commit crimes are going to do it. People who want to make sex work, they're going to do that, right? So this is where I kind of waffle on it because he wants to target OnlyFans creators, but the industry is so much bigger than just OnlyFans. So is he going to is he going to tax all sex workers at 50% of their income? And what about other creators that are on OnlyFans that aren't sex workers, right? Because obviously this is the majority of what they do on OnlyFans. However, what's her face? Whitney Cummings is a comedian who is on OnlyFans, but she doesn't post any nefarious content or any not safe for work content. She posts her podcast on there. And, you know, OnlyFans, their stance on this was we kind of want to be bigger than just this like sex platform. We want to expand our brand. And, you know, if they're not going to filter, you know, booty holes, then they're not going to filter Whitney Cummings when she wants to tell a joke, right? So this was kind of their stance where we're going to be a platform for people who don't want to be censored. Okay. So, you know, Whitney Cummings doesn't live in Florida, but let's just say if she did, well, I don't know. Like, would her income be taxed at 50% just because she lives in Florida and she's a creator on OnlyFans? She's not doing anything bad, though. So I don't know. I can also, you know, understand not wanting to live amongst a bunch of prostitutes, but I think taxing a certain community or group of people also sets a precedent that I don't think we would want to see a Democrat do. Let's say, you know, Mamdani, he wants to tax white people at a higher rate. I don't want that, and I also don't think that will even happen. So I wonder if James Fishback, if he does gain more traction, if he does win, would he actually be able to do this? Would the Florida legislature back this? Could it actually happen? It might, but he's now starting beef on X with one of OnlyFans' top creators, if not the top creator. Her name is Sophie Rain, which is an interesting way to get traction ahead of an election. I think we have other issues to worry about first, but he is now picking a fight with Sophie Rain on X saying, hey, at Sophie Rain, pay up or quit OnlyFans. As Florida governor, I will not allow a generation of smart and capable young women to sell their bodies online. And again, I don't think that women should sell their bodies online. I don't agree with this at all. But is it the Florida governor's decision to tell people what to do for a living and how to make their money and then he can tax them? I don't know. I'd be interested to see where you all in the chat stand on this, but I'm kind of torn. I think, you know, we don't want to see a Democrat saying, well, I'm going to tax, maybe gun control is a bad, you know, example, but, you know, I'm going to tax gun owners at 50%, or I'm going to tax people who voted for Trump at 50% because I don't want these people living in my state. Well, again, this is just something that is probably going to get caught up in the courts. This would probably go to the Supreme Court, and then, you know, it's just going to be a legal battle. But it is interesting to think about. I want to get now to the Vogue crack headline. If we could skip to Vogue crack, because I was on Megyn Kelly's show earlier today, and we didn't get to this story. This is actually a story that her team sent over that we were going to discuss, and then we never got to it. But she sent the article, and it says that, you know, in 2026, Vogue is showing your butt crack is going to be in vogue. that showing your butt crack is going to be a new trend in 2026. So let's pull this up, shall we? And let's take a look at it. Now it says, is 2026 going to be the year of the crack? Between the revival of bumpsters at McQueen and fashion-forward celebrities taking a stab at the bold reveal, we can only wonder. And they have photos of, this is Zoe Kravitz. She's wearing a long black dress, and whoa, there's her booty crack. The whole booty crack is in the dress, in a little peephole type thing. Then you see another model on the red carpet, or not on the red carpet, on the catwalk. And they're taking low-rise jeans to a level that has never been taken before. It is extremely low-rise. And, you know, low-rise jeans are a hate crime against women. I don't think that we should be wearing low-rise jeans. You can pry my mid-rise and high-rise jeans out of my cold dead hands. You're never going to see me catching this trend. I'm not going to do it. You know, the elites can have the plumber crack fashion trend. That's for them. They can do this. You know, the fashion industry, they tried to sell us on sneaker wedges. Ugly. No. Abort mission. No. Not doing sneaker wedges. Then they tried to sell us on barrel jeans. No. Ugly. No. I'm not buying into it. The plumber crack, you can have it. And the craziest thing about all of this is that these women on the red carpet and on the catwalk, they are wearing very expensive clothes. Very expensive. You're telling me that Hayley Bieber in that dress, and there's another thing, there's like a diamond encrusted whale tail on the back of their dress. Your thong's out. You look like trash. And I'm sure the dress is thousands of dollars, but you look trashy. You know, there's a way to be feminine and beautiful and even hot and sexy and still do it in a modest way where your whole ass isn't out. Then I saw a model on the runway and her pubic bone is out. You see them from the front. It's so low rise. You could see their pubes or their pubic bone. And let me just say, I think women should show off their best assets. And I can just say for everyone, your pubic bone is not your best asset. It is not. It is not your best asset. Find another one. But it is not your pubic bone. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it in public. Put the pubes away. Put your butt crack away. Leave it for the plumber. You wear something else, all right? That's it. Now, I also want to talk about something that I am not getting in on, and that's cruise ships. I'm not buying in to the ass crack window on the dress, and I'm not buying into cruise ships. I've never been on a cruise. You couldn't pay me to go on a cruise. I know there are people out there that are very passionate about the cruise line industry. They go on cruises all the time. They rack up points. They go on cruises. All right. I can't get behind the cruise vacations. And maybe this is going to piss people off. I think it's weird. I think it's giving adult, it's like giving a school trip. Like, we're going on a school trip. You're trapped. You can't go do what you want. And yes, I know that the cruise is large and there's a lot of activities and things, but I don't like the feeling of being trapped on a vacation. And maybe it's so big you don't feel trapped, but I would know that I am trapped on a cruise ship. And then it's like, you know, here you go. We're going to drop off at this. You can get off the ship and then you can come back at this time. No, it's like a school field trip. Not doing that. Not spending adult money on that. What makes cruise ships even worse is that when one person gets sick, it wipes out the whole ship. And the first neurovirus outbreak of 2026 occurred aboard the Holland America Line's Rotterdam cruise ship. And the CDC said that about 95 people were impacted by this neurovirus outbreak. And neurovirus is the stomach flu, and it's the stomach bug, and it is wildly contagious, right? So like one person has it, if you're all at the bar, you're all at the pool, you're all at whatever, it's going to spread quick. And you could not pay me to go on a cruise in general. I could not imagine the anxiety I would feel if I was sick on a cruise ship, then everyone's sick. I mean, it is just so disgusting. That is not a vacation. It is not a vacation. I need to be somewhere where I can go to a hospital if I need. And I get it. They got medical crews on board. I get it. But the fact that I'm stuck on a ship with other sick people, if I was on that cruise and I heard that, 100 people had neurovirus, give or take, I wouldn't enjoy the rest of my vacation. I wouldn't want to go to the bar. I wouldn't want to go in the pool. I wouldn't want to go in the hot tub. I wouldn't want to go to the events. I wouldn't want to go to anything because wouldn't want to get sick on my vacation. You only get so much PTO in a year. People save up for these vacations. They're expensive. And then imagine getting the neurovirus the whole time. Gross. Absolutely gross. But it's time for scrolling time. Let's get into it. It's gross. I'm anti-cruise. Anti-cruise. You couldn't pay me to go, let alone pay for it. Absolutely not. That's not a vacation to me. Also, I don't think that it's a vacation when you go to like a cold weather climate. I think that's a trip. It's not a vacation. Hot take, but there's a difference between trips and vacations. My friends invite me on ski trips. Keyword trip. No. I don't like being cold. I like being warm. I like sitting on a beach. I like relaxing. There's nothing relaxing about that.
So say you go to Aspen in the winter with friends, that's a trip.
It's a trip.
But you go to Aspen in August with your friends and it's a vacation?
Yeah. No, I really view, it depends on the location. And it depends on the activity, whether it's a trip or vacation. So that's my hot take. Anyway, Spencer Pratt is a reality TV star. And of course, we know that he lost his home in the Pacific Palisades fires last year. And it's heartbreaking. He's trying to put his family back together and get them somewhere to live and make money again. And he's written a book. And he's also running for LA mayor. And he is taking on Karen Bass. And here's what he had to say on TikTok recently. Watch.
Okay, Karen Bass, you got me. I'm running for mayor and I have a book coming out. But the only reason I have a book deal is because I'm standing in the rubble of my home, which you let burn to the ground. The last year has been an incredibly eye-opening journey, mostly hard and heartbreaking, as I waited for someone to stand up for my community. As the year was coming to a close, in the darkness of December, I saw that no one was willing to fight. And that's when I decided that I needed to run for mayor and that I needed to announce this on the anniversary of the worst day of my life. Karen Bass wants you to think that I'm running for mayor because I want to sell more books. Right, because coming after the machine is notoriously great for people in the entertainment industry. I lost everything that I own and somehow found the will to fight for my community and run for mayor. What has Karen Bass done for us in that same year? I'm standing in my burnt out lot where city zoning rules have added $1.2 million costs to put pilings that never existed in the first place. How am I going to rebuild this house without working? How many books am I going to have to sell to just cover the cement structure that Karen Bass wants me to add now? I have nothing to lose and I have nothing to hide. And you can read it all in the book.
And it's great to see Spencer speak out about this, and he really wants to expose the government for all of their failings in this. And I hope that he does. And it makes me sad to think, if Spencer Pratt is struggling, think of the families that don't have the exposure that he has. I mean, they need someone like Spencer who knows what they're going through to fight for them and to change these city zoning laws and to make it possible for them to rebuild where they want to rebuild. I mean, a lot of people, God bless them. I don't know why they want to live in California other than the weather and other things. But, Democrats want to live in California. They should be able to do that. They should be able to rebuild their house where it was and live there and be able to rebuild and send their kids to the schools that they want to go to and all of that. So I feel for those families, and I hope that Spencer Pratt wins and they can really make some good change there. Something interesting that I saw, though, because in those comments on that video, people were saying this: since they don't require ID to vote, I'm coming, with a plain emoji. So someone else said, no voter ID required. If anyone can go to California to vote, please do it. He needs to win. Another one, I'm not Californian, but I'm going to vote for Spencer Pratt. Spencer for mayor. Let's go Mayor Spencer Pratt. But these people are talking about, the voter ID laws or lack thereof that they have in California. And people want to, exploit those loopholes to get Spencer Pratt in office. And it's an interesting point. I'm never going to advocate for voter fraud. There's a reason why I believe in voter ID, and I don't think that people should be able to manipulate the system. But it is glaringly obvious how easy it is for people to manipulate the system if they wanted to in these blue states that don't have voter ID laws in place. People could just search up the voter registration and the voter rolls in California, find a name, go to their polling place and say, hey, I'm Joe Schmo and I'm here to vote in this district. And they don't need to show ID. So you could just say, like, I am who I say, I'm this voter, and then they can go vote for Spencer Pratt. Very interesting to see, I don't think that people will actually do this. And again, let me just say this to make sure that this is very clear. I do not advocate for voter fraud. But if California has these systems, these very broken systems in place, that makes it an easy target for people who want to manipulate the outcome of an election. So we'll see. Where should we go next here? Should we go to this viral video? We were going to cover this earlier in the week, and I just haven't gotten to it, but it is hilarious. This is FAFO caught in 4K. Watch this. Here's a protester with an American flag, and he absolutely decks this guy in the red jacket. And what we missed in this video is the guy in the red jacket was being annoying as hell. Like, he's got a speakerphone in the guy's ear. So this, I guess, conservative counter-protester with the American flag, he's just taking on everyone one by one, taking them all out. Red jacket is back for more, and bang, he just absolutely flattened. Guys. Absolutely flattened. Could you imagine getting punched in the stomach, you fall over. You finally get the balls to get up after you've been humiliated. You're going to get up, and round two, you just get bang, and he falls over like a rag doll. This just goes to show, these protesters, these liberal protesters, come on, man. Go to the gym, lift a weight. No core strength, no nothing. They're just ragdolling out there. Look at him. He's like an angry elf. Like he's going up to this guy like, I'm going to get him back. And he gets absolutely flattened again. I could watch that over and over again. I could just watch it over and over.
He's got the arms going. He's got that swag walk, walking back up.
Oh, I know. He's like, oh, here I am, world. Hear me roar.
And then all of a sudden it's tomorrow.
Absolutely embarrassing. These people are just losers. They're such losers. Also a loser is this very angry lesbian. Listen to this. I'm scared.
Don't ever fucking come at me about forgiving MAGA ever again. I will not forgive. Ever. I will never forget. Ever. And your protest votes are just as fucking bad. Those who can be reformed and brought back in when this is over can be. But that does not mean forgiveness. There is no forgiveness after this. And those of you who are still clinging, I wish ego death upon every one of you.
I wish ego death upon every one of you. I don't know if this woman is soaking wet. I don't know why. She's like, I don't know if she's sweating or if she just got out of the pool or got out of the shower, but I think she's naked. And she pulls out her video saying that she's going to wish ego death on MAGA. And she's shaking mad. She's genuinely shaking. You could see her physically shaking mad. And
I've never seen a better representation for seething.
Seething.
That was seething.
That was seething, yes. And about what? I don't know. No context. I'm assuming Renee Good, but no context. I have no idea. Just just she felt the need to hop out of the shower or whatever she was doing to get that sweaty.
Imagine walking out of the locker room at some public gym and she's just in the corner
Making a
sweating,
TikTok rant.
seething into her phone.
I'd like to believe that it is sweat from her seething so hard. She's coping so hard.
That was the 10th take of that video.
Yeah. And she's sweating so hard because she's triggered. This next one is a liberal gun owner who's also very angry, and this one is also hurling threats at MAGA. Watch this.
Good afternoon. Fuck Donald Trump. Today I was at the range, and it'll do your heart good to know there was a lot of women there. I was there not with but with the little one that I carry with me all the time, and I'm going to show you up here a little picture of what I was aiming at today. You motherfucking MAGA fucks, you might think that we're out here just sitting around wondering what's going to happen. I am wondering about shit. I know what's going to happen. Fuck you. Psycho killer.
Psycho killer. I think that was on purpose, the song choice there. And I also think that was not a thinly veiled threat. I think that was a full-on, I'm coming for you, MAGA. I know what's going to happen. You should be afraid. I'm at the gun range. I'm perfecting this. Look at my shot. I'm a good shot, and I'm coming for you. At FBI, here you go. I would investigate this woman, maybe. I would also like to say that I think the other women at the range might have been conservative. But it is very scary that these liberals, they make videos like this. And, people talk about, the Civil War, and we're going to have another Civil War. And, the temperature keeps rising and rising. And it is rising and rising. But it's them. It's one-sided. I don't want to do any harm to liberals. I don't want them to be hurt. I don't want anyone to die, but they don't feel the same way. I mean, they do truly want to do harm to us in a very scary way. We can only hope that, the temperature gets down and people stop making threats like this online, but I don't know. We're late. So I think we're going to have to save these two really good videos for tomorrow. So we're going to do them tomorrow, but I will see you then. You can follow me on social media at Hayley Caronia, HayleyCaronia, on Instagram, TikTok, Truth Social, whatever else, whatever I missed, X, and I'll see you then.